What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon. No matter where you are in the world, I'm Sam Piker, and this is Awesome. I'm broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles, folks. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is Monday, folks. I live in the area. Following the sniper room news was wild. Yeah. As soon as I heard Idaho, I was like, there is 0% chance this is an Iranian sleeper cell. This is 100%. I mean, I don't know the details. But I suspect it's Aryan Nation activities, right? That seems like an Aryan Nation ass move. Down to like shooting firefighters. Not even like a GROYPER. I'm talking, this isn't even like GROYPER shit. This is like OG Aryan Nation shit. Like, this strikes me as something more than like internet GROYPERs. Like, internet GROYPERs will do like school shootings and stuff, but this seems like they had smoke for the fire department. We call them homegrowns. Oh, I mean, most of it is homegrown, obviously, but MHUD, he's a conservative teen. They censored his t-shirt with Trump is Rocky in it for their narrative. What the fuck? It was a GROYPER? Oh my God, that's actually shocking. Dude, what the fuck? It was actually a GROYPER. All right, we'll cover it. I really thought like, oh, this is like some fucking 45-year-old Nazi, like Aryan Nation guy. I did not think it would have been a fucking 20-year-old GROYPER. That is kind of crazy because it's Idaho. Idaho and like targeting firefighters makes me feel like, this is more organized and a long-standing beef. This is not new Nazi activity. New Nazis will go and like kill all the girls in their school or something. Old school American Nazis back in the day would do like the order type shit. Like they had a much more organized version of violence. Like they were way more organized and way more militant. It wasn't like in the same way that like these guys do it. These guys nowadays will just be like, I mean, the attitude is still the same where it's like they're so stupid. You ask a Nazi back in the day, like Aryan Nation, the order times, like they literally thought if they blew up a bunch of shit, they could potentially spark a race war. And nowadays, the stochastic terror that you see is in the same vein where they literally think, oh, if I shoot my school, then I'll start a race war. And it's like, no, dude, it's not. It doesn't work that way. Like, you're so fucking stupid. You're such a dumbass. Of course you're a dumbass. You're a fucking Nazi. But like, these guys all literally think if I do just enough violence, there will be race war in this country. And like, no, it doesn't work that way. What is a GROYPER? This chatter asks. GROYPERs are online Nazis. They're like the under the age of 35 in the Republican Party neo-Nazis. They mostly like meme online. They watch like Nicolas Fuentes. They also fantasize about race war, but they're primarily on like forums and stuff. It's a little bit different than like Aryan Nation style, like fundamentalist white nationalists. GROYPER, sometimes called the GROYPER Army, a group of alt-right and white nationalist activists led by Nick Fuentes. Members of the group have attempted to introduce alt-right politics in the mainstream conservatism in the United States, participated in the January 6th Capitol attack, blah, 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 blah. GROYPERs are fucking weirdos. To be fair, Nazis of all different backgrounds are fucking weirdos. Trump is targeting naturalized Americans for citizenship criminal offenses. Yeah, listen, this is the worst case of I told you so that's taking place in American society right now. I've literally detailed every single step that the Trump administration, I told you, was going to take in this process. Every single day we are moving closer and closer to that reality of denaturalization, which, by the way, for those of you who don't know, this is exactly what Nazi Germany did. Okay, a lot of people think like, oh, dude, this is not Nazi Germany. They weren't like deporting non-citizens or whatever. It's like, no, this is the process of declaring people non-citizens is exactly what Nazi Germany did, and they absolutely did deport people. Okay. They deported them and they put them in concentration camps in the process of deporting them. So It's not hyperbole. We're in it. And it's so crazy that Americans can't just fucking wake up. I really feel bad for the FBI agents that have to go through your stream. No one should be subjected to this level of stupidity. Lol, goofy take. Like, you can agree with what the Trump administration is doing. I mean, that would require you to be a piece of shit. But you can't just fucking be like, no, you're wrong, sweetie. Or, you're stupid. It's just a one-to-one comparison at this point. Like, the expectation from you, I suspect, is until it gets to like 6 million, you know, you won't actually say this is a good comparison, because I think you suspect that the Nazis just woke up one day and decided we're going to kill 6 million Jews. That's not how this works. That's not how this started. There's a long and convoluted legal process from appeasement all the way to the Nuremberg race laws, all the way to the process of like remigration and denaturalization that took place, criminalizing Jews and criminalizing different kinds of political ideologies. It didn't start overnight. It didn't end overnight. That's not how this works. We are slowly but surely moving through that process right now. It's step by step. Just like Donald Trump didn't come into office and immediately start talking about denaturalizing people, but now he wants to do that as well. I warned that this was going to be his eventual goal. But now that like the Supreme Court has offered him a tremendous power, where basically the only way to combat this kind of thing by executive mandate is to take it all the way up to the Supreme Court, launch a class action lawsuit that literally has every single person that it wronged party in it, take it all the way up to the Supreme Court with the hopes that like the Supreme Court will take it on, allow the class action lawsuit to continue as a class action lawsuit, and then also will work against the Trump administration, when in fact we have seen they have not actually done that. That's the real reason why the lower courts no longer have injunction powers, as I covered extensively last week, and I'll be talking about more today. So very low likelihood that the Supreme Court will allow or the Supreme Court will rule against the Trump administration, unless it's like directly impacting capital somehow. My father is the son of a half Jewish German World War II refugee, and he doesn't see the parallels. I guess as long as it's not coming after him, he doesn't care. That blows my mind, especially if you're Jewish. Like when you like Jewish people will be like, oh my God, you said death to the IDF. That's the Holocaust. But then you're literally facing down the barrel of a second Holocaust happening. And you're like, nah, that's not. How is that possible? This is not even like a never again just for Jews moment. It literally will happen to Jews as well. What the fuck? I think it's a good comparison for what is actually happening, but I'm not sure it's the best way to explain it to normies. Directly comparing it to the Holocaust is met with overreaction from normies. No, I think it's a pretty good comparison, because what you can describe to them is that this is exactly how events unfolded that led to the Holocaust. We are in like the third step right now. It's not necessarily hyperbolic. It's taking the exact same shape and the exact same form, the process of remigration and the process of like denaturalization. That is precisely what happened with the Holocaust as well. But it doesn't go gas chamber overnight. You know what I mean? That's not how it works. I hear it. There it is. The United States Holocaust Memorial Museum defines the years of the Holocaust as 1933 to 1945. The Holocaust era began in January 1933 when Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party came into power in Germany. It ended in May 1945 when the Allied powers defeated Nazi Germany in World War II. The Holocaust is also sometimes referred to as the Shoah, the Hebrew word for catastrophe. Ironically enough, Nakba is the Arabic word for catastrophe, and it is the word referencing 1948, which is when the Zionist brigades conducted an ethnic cleansing campaign and an ethnic displacement operation of 750,000 Palestinians, which was also the steps taken to create the nation state of Israel. Getting back to it, when they came into power in Germany, the Nazis did not immediately start to carry out the mass murder of Jews. However, they quickly began using the government to target and exclude Jews from German society. Among other anti-Semitic measures, the Nazi Germany regime enacted discriminatory laws and organized violence targeting Germany's Jews. The Nazi persecution of Jews became increasingly radical between 1933 and 1945. This radicalization culminated in a plan that the Nazi leaders referred to as the final solution to the Jewish question. The first part of that is to create the Jewish question. to look at all of the existing economic anxieties and economic tumult that was in place in German society, and then immediately redirect all of that enmity towards Jews. There is the Jewish question. You create the Jewish question, and then, of course, when you create the Jewish question, which is asking society why you feel so angry and resentful. Oh, it's because Jews control the money. It's because Jews control the media. It's because Jews control academia. So once you create the Jewish question, then you have to have a solution for it. And the solution is the final solution. What is the final solution? The ethnic cleansing and whole-scale slaughter of all of the Jews in the concentration camps and the death camps. That is how the Holocaust happened. It did not happen overnight. It took 10 plus years. The enmity was pre-existing. The enmity already existed. It was greatly intensified post-World War I. The enmity towards Jews already existed in historic Christian societies to begin with. And this is how it led to the Holocaust. A lot of people do not have the capacity to understand that the reason why we know about this and the reason why we cover it, the reason why we learn about this, is because it is considered the crime above all crimes. The worst possible crime possible. Okay? Genocide, ethnic cleansing. It is the worst crime imaginable. The reason why people learn about it, the reason why we all know that this is an immoral, morally repugnant position, is so that we understand, we recognize how societies move in this direction, and then we hope that we'll never repeat it again. However, a lot of people literally look at this indescribable evil and say, well, it hasn't gotten to that point yet. They haven't killed 6 million Palestinians yet, so I guess it's not the same. Black slavery was bad too. Yes, chattel slavery and the Nazi regime and the Holocaust are the two things that most historians across the board will directly say is evil. Chattel slavery in its practice was unique. It was uniquely cruel. It was uniquely evil. It was more evil than every other historic form of slavery. While most historians won't actually offer any sort of like determination and simply just repeat and simply just explain events of history, the Holocaust and chattel slavery are the two things that most historians will openly say is really fucked up. This does not mean that there aren't also additionally cruel practices that even Germany and Belgium and many other European countries engaged in Africa and the African continent that would be akin to the Holocaust. Absolutely. Having said that, those are the two things that that people recognize as like deeply, deeply immoral. Historians even. Why am I talking about this early? It's not even 11. It just turned 11:09 and I'm already talking about the Holocaust. Well, it's because we are in it. We are in the early stages of America's Nazi regime. And just like the Nazis hosted the Olympics in 1936, we are also going to be hosting the fucking World Cup in the United States of America. History oftentimes doesn't immediately repeat itself, but it often rhymes. However, in this circumstance, it is quite literally fucking repeating itself. So, the Olympics and the World Cup, exactly.